Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at HiddenTracks99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Do you still think about me? I'm hoping that you do. Can't stand the songs that we'd sing, 'cause I can't sing the parts for two. I'm hoping that you're listening, this one's for you. It's not too late to change your mind. My room still looks like how you left it. Or was it just a waste of time? 'Cause I'll take back as much as I can give.
What's up, everybody? Another week, another edition of the show. This week, I am happy to have the band 19 Miles Per Hour, who, if you are listeners and know anything, they were on my weekly threes, which is 3 things that I'm listening to that everyone should check out And it's always great when I have one of those threes out there and the band wants to hop on the show and talk about their music. And I now have a proper opportunity to promote them. And today we are lucky enough to have everyone in the band. We have Mikey, Jackson, Ben, and Danny. Danny's out in the woods trying to search for signals, and the other three guys are out in Utah. But welcome to the show, everybody.
Hey, dude, thanks for having us.
No problem. So I'm going to, since this is kind of, I mean, I do love how this is a band started by brothers, and the brothers are completely separated right now at this moment. So there's going to be a gaggle of people that are probably going to chime in behind one brother, while the other brother may get an opportunity to tell his side of the story as we move along. But I mean, between, and you guys can call out who wants to do, but I would lead it to Mikey or Danny to give us a quick synopsis on, the formation of 19 miles per hour and where you guys stand today.
Yeah, so me and my brother grew up playing music together ever since we were kids, and my dad actually was in a band back in like the 70s, and so he played drums and sang in a band and with like some of his friends. Actually, one of them is my godfather now. So so music's been pretty like big in our lives forever. And me and my brother would play little like shows and stuff when we were growing up, and we always like just loved it a bunch that we wanted to kind of try it out and start putting some songs together for different like shows at high school, or um like different little kind of concerts like that. And then eventually we met a mutual friend who was just insane at lead guitar, and he started playing some shows with us, and we decided to start like so we're from New Hampshire originally, and in New Hampshire you can start playing at like bars and clubs when you're like like anywhere between like 16 and 18. You don't have to be 21 to just play the music there. So we started playing some shows at some bars and clubs there, kind of like not officially 19 miles per hour. I mean, some of them I think we kind of still we decided to call ourselves that, but yeah, that was like kind of how we started out, and it was a lot of fun to just like kind of get our feet wet in the music scene when we were younger.
What was the other option for name of the band?
Yeah, so I loved like a lot of stuff that had to do with classic rock, especially British Invasion. And so originally I think I even put it on my graduation cap. We were calling it Revolutionized, and and the logo was like a mixture of an American and a British flag. And I couldn't if that was the case. Yeah. And eventually, like my dad, whenever we were on road trips, would always point out signs and be like, "Oh, Falling Rocks, like that would be a good band name or something." And so I was playing music at a senior center. I used to play music at senior centers when I was younger, and one of them had a bunch of speed limit signs in the parking lot that said 19 miles per hour, strictly enforced. And I was like, that's so weird that it's 19 miles per hour, not 20, and that they also feel the need to say it's strictly enforced at 19. So I took a picture of it, and years later, we're like thinking of like names, and I'm scrolling through my photos, and I was like, what about this? Like 19 miles per hour could be kind of cool. And then we were born.
Wow. You know why they do that, right?
No, wait, why?
So when you see speed limit signs that are completely out of the ordinary, especially like around schools too, you'll see like 14 miles per hour.
Right.
Because when you see that sign, it actually makes you think about it, and it makes you focus more at trying to do that than if you see 20 miles an hour. If you see 20 miles an hour, you're just going to be like, all right, whatever, I'm doing 25.
Yeah.
But when they have that, it actually tricks your brain into making you think you have to try to stay around that speed limit, so you're always going to go slower.
Oh,
yeah, that's
we've got to change the name.
actually that's why we picked the name. It makes people want to stay and listen to us longer because they think about it more.
I mean, people I talked to about the band, there was like 19. Why 19?
It is. I feel like it's definitely the most asked question that we get is like, why 19? And it's just like, well, let me tell you this story.
Yeah, and now you have an answer of why that is. But yeah, that's why street signs are made to be little obscure like that, because it
Yeah.
tricks your brain and your body into focusing on keeping it below that limit.
Yeah, I mean, it worked. I think I stayed at 19 or 20.
Now, so in the iteration of, having Jackson and Ben in, I mean, Danny, whose decision did you both have to agree, like, when you're making the decisions on the band? Because I mean, Danny's taller. Does he have more power in the band, or like, how does it work? Like,
Yeah,
who makes the
that's
decision?
exactly how it works. We go by height, so I get final say on everything. Just kidding. But no, it is. I think we've played with a lot of different musicians through the years, and it's just kind of about like mutual like goals and dedication and like desire. We want to make sure that anyone who plays with us, like, if they want to play short term, then like great, we'll take them short term. If they want to play long term, like we want to see what we can do to make that like partnership with the crew. So I feel like we've just found some good connections with Jackson and Ben, and they've enjoyed it too, and it's been fun to like jam together.
Well, Jackson and Ben, I love how Danny just spoke for you, saying that you guys enjoyed it. But so I'm going to ask.
They
Yeah,
actually-
maybe they actually
Words in
hate
my
it.
mouth.
I'm going to ask you guys that, and whoever wants to take it, but what's the dynamic like when you're coming into a band with, two brothers, the two members like that started this thing? Like, what is, are there any apprehensions? Are you maybe afraid to speak up at times because it might not be fully something that you're incorporated into, or maybe not feel that way? I'm trying to break up the band right now, guys.
Yeah.
No, but
It's
like,
like,
is there like, what's that experience like? I'll go with Jackson.
Oh, well, joining, there's a lot to learn really quickly. There's a lot of history behind this band and also the relationship between Mikey and Danny. And like,
they've been brothers a long time.
Mikey, he gets on my case a lot because a song of ours will pop up that I have no clue what it is. And he's like, "You don't know our stuff?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, man. I haven't been intentional enough." But they're pretty good at listening to my ideas because I feel like I have pretty good ideas sometimes, most of the time.
We all think we do.
Yeah. You might think that. Just
I mean,
kidding.
Mikey never makes it seem like it, but then when it makes us millions of dollars in the future,
How about you, Ben? How do you I was told you're enjoying it. Are you enjoying it?
My contract says that I have to say yes. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's been a blast, and I've only been with the guys for a couple months, 3 or 4 months at this point. So, I mean, this is kind of my first opportunity to perform with, musicians that know what they're doing and get on stage, and the guys have pretty good exposure and good fans and following. So it's been a lot of fun. Been a really cool opportunity in that way. And they're all, we kind of knew each other before working together in this way. So it's just been fun.
Nice. Now, Mikey and Danny, you brought up how you grew up in a musical household, a musical family, with a father being in a band back in the 70s, my era. But there's this kind of there's these kind of shifting moments in life. So if you guys grew up with that musical background that was like kind of forcing you to the way I look at it is there's always these things going on in the backgrounds. There's always this music going on in the background. But for me, there was like a pivotal moment when I heard one specific artist or band that actually changed my life. For me, I was 6 years old and I heard the Beach Boys, and I'm now almost 50 and I am fully entranced in music. So
Yeah.
like there's these moments like, and other than your father, Danny, like what do you kind of have like a thing when you were a child when you first heard it that said, maybe music is going to be it for me?
Ooh, I don't know. That's a deep question. I feel like it maybe was less of a moment for me, like a lot of just like pieces of like, connecting with music. Again, like a lot of it was tied to like the stuff my dad showed us, like the Beatles, like a lot of the old like, world changing classic rock that left an impact, and I thought this is so cool. One time I had a girl in like 8th grade say I sounded just like Michael Bublé, so that was really convincing that I should be a singer. But don't sound like Michael Bublé as much now. I think we've changed our style. We're not exactly that genre, but
Yet.
yet.
Yeah.
But no, I think just a lot of like, yeah, a lot of exposure to music through the years that's just made me think like this is cool. It's exciting. It's such a cool way to like connect with people and like share commonality with people. Um, but yeah, I don't know. That's my take on it.
All right. How about you, Mikey? Did you have anything that kind of you heard that made you just say, "Hey, maybe this is going to be what I want to do"?
I distinctly remember like listening to Ringo drumming, and I know like I feel like that nowadays like so many people kind of like hate on Ringo. Like I guess for just his like for the technicality of his drumming, but I just remember hearing him drum and like hearing the Beatles and thinking like, whoa, that's like so cool. I want to do that with my life. I want to play drums and like play music. And I mean like kind of what Danny said, like my dad put us on to like a lot of Led Zeppelin, like The Who, Boston, like just stuff like that, where I was like listening and I was like, it just, there was something different about like listening and like enjoying music than just being like a passive listener, you know, like listening as a fan and rather than listening and being like Im- fully immersed in it and thinking like of all that went into that song or all that artist did and like um I think a lot of that and even just hearing like stories about my dad being in a band. You know, I mean, I think for them it was more of a like it was kind of for fun. But like hearing stories about that is always like I want to do that. Like that sounds awesome. And or even from an early like age, I feel like I just noticed that playing music, I felt like I was able to be myself when I was playing music more than I was able to be myself any other time. Like it was so easy to just open up and like connect with people and fully be who I wanted to be when I was playing music for someone.
Nice. Now, how about you, Jackson? How growing up with music? Did you grow up with music around you? Was there, a pivotal moment like my moment when I remember hearing something that just said, "Man, what is this? I got to find out more about this," and then just took me down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, well, I need to connect back to Danny's point. My one of my first moments with connecting with music was also with Michael Bublé. I'm pretty sure I was 6 years old, and I was walking in on my mom folding laundry in her bedroom, and she was listening to "Home" by Michael Bublé. I think I understood the words for the first time, and I just started bawling as a 6-year-old. But I mean, my whole life I've been surrounded by music. We were all raised LDS in the Mormon church, and it's a very music focused church. Like everyone's singing from a young age. My mom put me in piano lessons at 6. And I think because of that, when I learned that I could not only listen to cool songs, but I could make those cool songs come out of my fingers, I got really into that. And it was really cool for me to get better at doing that so I could play more of my favorite songs in my own, special way, I guess.
Ben, same thing for you.
Pretty similar story to what Jackson just shared. And this is first time I've ever gone record and made this known to other people. But the band that originally got me into music, I was in 9th grade and I was playing trumpet and I hated it. I hated the trumpet and I thought music just wasn't my thing. So I put away the trumpet and then I heard it was Hash Pipe by Weezer. And something about it just hooked me. And I guess that's kind of what it's designed to do. But yeah, it blew me away. And I picked up a guitar not too long after that because like Jackson, I wanted to be able to do that. And you can't do that with a trumpet.
Hash pipe is impossible to play on trumpet.
It's all the
Nothing's
downhill from there.
impossible.
Yeah, nothing's impossible, only improbable.
Yeah.
Me and Ben grew up playing music together too. We were in the same church from 12 and up, and we formed a band that shall not be named and is on SoundCloud. Recorded multiple covers and posted to that SoundCloud account our freshman year at college. Yeah.
Well, I
Some
mean,
unsavory diss tracks on a roommate.
so I mean, we do have one of our number one questions here is, and that was, I already, went to Mikey and Danny with it, but it's the name of your first band. So I mean, now you have to tell it, so it shall be named. We only do hard hitting.
No, I do remember you do.
It's called Hidden Tracks, bro. You need to tell them.
Yeah, you're right. So the band name, I'm not gonna tell you how to spell it. That's the thing. It's easy to spell. Me and my peepees. That's what it was called.
Yeah, good luck figuring out the spelling on that one.
Yeah. How do I spell that out?
I claimed that the name was the PP stood for something else, but it was just PP.
We know exactly what it's.
Like you could pronounce it peeps. No.
No, we had a sophisticated reason.
Now, after those moments of like growing up and hearing those things, and you mentioned, 12 years old, and I always look at like that 12, 13, when you're kind of getting ready to go into high school, you kind of find your pocket or like your friends, and it revolves around music a lot of times. Like, was there a certain music group of people that you were hanging out with, Danny? Like, you look at, there was punks, there was metal guys, there was your stoners who like the Dead and Fish, and I mean, you guys were from New Hampshire, so I mean, there's probably a lot of tie-dye where you came from, but like
County folk.
yeah. Well, you kind of like fall in sometimes with a group of people because of music. What was that? Did you fall into a group of people that kind of had the same stylings of music, and what was that music?
Well, my high school had fewer than 500 people total, so we didn't have a big pool of music lovers in general. Big diversity, but I would say I was probably in the band geeks group. I was in the high school band crew as far as music went. So not too hardcore or anything, just with the people that like to play music, and we're in our high school band basically. So
Well, I need to interject because I was at the same high school. There wasn't really a band geeks. Like everyone was kind of just
yeah,
you were
no,
all just
Mike,
like
that's
one
a
and
good
the
point.
same, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah, there wasn't enough people to have cliques there, so it was like
yeah,
a lot of the band geeks played the sports also. Like
that's a great point.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now you're okay. So I'm marking
They
for
were
edit
cool, is
here
what you're
because
saying.
yeah, I'm marking this for edit for that whole portion because of the simple fact that now you're laying credence to my wife, where she was in the band, but she went to a very small high school, same thing as well. And she's like, no, the band geeks, we were the cool kids.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I go, your graduating class had 92 people in it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what are we cool kids? Because you guys are now laying credence to everything she was saying is right. And I'm not going to allow that to be put
yeah. Strike it from the record.
Yeah. Tell her to plug her ears in that part of it.
Yep. But it is awesome to like think about, because I am probably quite a bit older, but when I grew up, and I did go to a high school where I think my graduating class was like 700. So,
Wow.
but it was kind of like I loved music, so I could always get along with everyone except for like the kids who were blasting, who were driving big pickup trucks and blasting, the hot Garth Brooks at the time.
Yeah.
It was like the only thing I really didn't connect with, but like, yeah, I was friends with the metalheads. I was friends with the hair metal kids. I was friends with the punk rockers, but it was just because music, and it was brought up earlier in this, and just being able to have that communal vibe, right? And
exactly.
Find that common ground that we all have, and it all stems, like I tell people all the time, that if you can talk to someone about music that you like, you'll find that you have more in common with that person than you ever would have thought, because you're just looking at them, judging them, or because they have a certain belief that's different than yours. But when it all comes down to it, I always believe music, it's the universal language. Everybody can come together around it. And, regardless of being the band geek, or being the jock, or being whatever you are. I mean, when it comes to music, we can all find commonality within it, and it just brings you to a better place. So
Totally.
Yeah.
now I'm moving on to first in your life. We went through music things, but I mean, and for Danny and Mikey, I'm kind of trying to think it's probably going to be your dad, but like, do you remember the very first concert you ever saw, and then the very first concert you got the pick to go to?
I don't know if I remember correctly the first concert I saw. I feel like I've heard my parents say something about like one of those like kids shows kind of concerts, like Barney or something like that. But I don't remember.
The Wiggles
But
and
yeah, I don't remember if something like that happened.
That Barney concert was lit.
Was that a thing? Did we go to a Barney concert?
Barney tour?
I think.
But I
Just the
distinctly
worldwide.
remember going to Hippie Fest at
That's what I
the
was going to
big-
say.
yeah, at like the big venue like nearest. We actually ended up working at it. It's like a probably like 10,000 person capacity outdoor amphitheater. And they had Hippie Fest, and it was a bunch of like 60s and 70s musicians that all played like a little bit like from each of their bands. So it was like kind of individuals from each of these like groups. So like there was guys from the Animals, I think from the Turtles, I think one of the guys from Badfinger was there. And I mean, there's like, I don't even remember now, but I distinctly remember that concert being like one of the first ones that comes to my mind when someone asks me what our first concert was.
so you probably had like the bass player of the Animals, and then
Yeah, it was
the
stuff like
tambourine player of
I
played on one song of Bad Company. Was
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, something like that. But
John Bonham on drums.
yeah, that was. Dan, you said that's the one you remember?
That's what I remember too. Yeah, that was a cool one.
Yeah.
And that's what you picked to go to, or what was the first one you picked to go to on it?
Picked to go. I think for me, first that comes to mind, I would say, we went to see. It would either be we went to see Boston. Obviously, Boston was basically just their lead guitarist, the only original member.
Yeah.
But then I remember picking to go see them, and Roger Daltrey from The Who did the Tommy Opera live.
Mm.
And I remember seeing that, and those are like, I feel like those must have been one of the first ones that I was really like, I want to go to that with my family. Like that'd be so sick.
Yeah, those that's I don't remember the Boston one, but the Tommy one, I remember that distinctly too. That was sweet. We grew up, again from my dad, like as big Who fans, and that was a really awesome one. We also, like Mikey said, we had kind of a unique experience where we had the opportunity to actually like work at a concert venue locally in New Hampshire. And this was like he said, a bigger venue too. So as far as like choosing to go, there were a lot of opportunities where after we finished our shift, we'd be able to like stay and watch the remainder of the show sometimes too. So, one of the big ones I remember staying for was Train. I grew up as a big Train fan too, and they
And the Goo Goo Dolls, right? At the
yeah, I
same
was
show.
Train and the Goo Goo Dolls at the same show. That was awesome. That was, circling back to your earlier question, I think that was one experience I had that like, I just saw how like Pat Monahan like commanded the stage and just like interacted with the audience and made it so like immersive. Like, he made it feel like it was a stadium and at the same time like an intimate like club. Like he just totally like made it so connecting with the crowd that just made me think like I want to do that too.
Yeah, he's very good at doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
He has an innate ability where, I'll give Train their props.
Yeah.
For, all the great stuff they created. It's not something that I would listen to on a daily basis, but
Sure.
like it's the seeing someone so good at doing something that some people may think is easy, but it's actually really fucking hard to do.
Yeah,
And someone who's
right.
good at it, I'm just like, I've seen him before, and I'm just like, man, he can just do it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it
He's
amazed
got
me.
it.
Ooh, or Ringo and his All-Star Band. I forgot. We did see that. That was
Oh yeah.
Back to Ringo, full fucking circle in 25 minutes.
Shut up, Ringo.
Jackson, how about you? Do you remember your first concert you ever saw, and then the first one you got to pick?
Oh, they're the same. They're the one in the same concert. It was Imagine Dragons at Excel Energy Stadium in
Oh,
Minneapolis.
Utah boys. So yeah.
Hey,
Minneapolis, Minnesota, born and raised. So you can't lump me into that group. But
All
I
right.
love them as a 13-year-old, and I gotta say, I still chase that high. It was a good ass show. They put on a fabulous performance. They're all super talented. They just don't make the best music sometimes. And also, Dan Reynolds does not put a shirt on at those concerts. I don't think he's ever worn clothes.
Well, if I looked like that, I would never wear a shirt.
Yeah.
He's beautiful.
I mean,
Dude, their stage presence is insane. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
so good live.
They put on a great live show.
yeah, they're performers. I mean, that's what it. That's the way you look at it. They are true performers in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
How about you, Ben?
Also one and the same show. It was in 2018 when I went and saw the Smashing Pumpkins,
Oh, that's sick.
and it was to this day the best concert I've ever attended.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because with Smashing Pumpkins, you never know what you're gonna get.
It's a mixed bag.
How many times have
Yeah.
you seen them now?
2.
Oh, it's just 2. I thought it was more than that.
I've seen them, and I'll go back. The first time I ever saw them was in 1993. So I mean, that's how
Wow.
long I've been around to be able to see the Smashing Pumpkins in many different iterations, and Billy has this innate ability to take your favorite song and fuck it up just for you at the very moment. And that's where I've gotten to that point where I have now in my life, I've chosen to cut off bands to be like, this is the last time I'm ever going to see them. So like, I'm making that decision to be like, and even some of my favorite bands who are still killing it, but it's like, all right, I never need to see this again. I never need to pay for this again. It's the 19th time I've seen my favorite band. I think I'm good. Like I think I've reached that limit. And some people have forced me to make that decision, and Smashing Pumpkins was one of them.
Smashing Pumpkins, I think, is a unique case in some ways because they're some 30 odd years into their career at this point, and I think, not that I was around to see them in the 90s to be able to make this kind of a judgment, but they're an absolute powerhouse today. And I think it's that time's been good to them in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing with when I have seen them, it's just, my thing is when you're taking a song that everyone knows for a certain reason, and don't get me wrong, I love when bands change things up, but when you take a song and completely change the arrangement to something that is unrecognizable, and it's like one of your favorite songs, like that's where I'm like, you're doing a disservice to the people, and especially nowadays for how much ticket prices cost. Like, someone just paid $250 to see you, Billy. Like, don't fuck around. Like no.
I'm guessing you got a 10-minute rant in the middle of I Am One.
You get it through. You get a lot of it through a lot of it.
Yeah.
So you covered Landslide at the last concert?
Not
I
when I
just
saw him.
completely.
He covered
that
a
up.
Talking Head. They covered the Talking Heads once in a lifetime, and it was awesome.
Well, Landslide was on. Landslide was on Pisces Iscariot back.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's right.
And that was
That's a good one. Now.
Yeah, that was an amazing version of it. So
Yeah.
but all right, my rant on them is
Pumpkins have been smashed.
I don't want to hear from an angry Billy at any point. But,
Yeah. Don't get us wrong. We'll still open for you on tour.
We're this podcast too.
Oh yeah.
So now comes my favorite time in the show, and I'm going to go because I want to see how different this may be, but it is really one of my favorite questions to ask, and it's going to Danny first. Danny, if no one ever heard your band 19 Miles Per Hour and you just met them and they say, play me one of your songs that best describes the band, what one song are you playing for them?
Dang. That is loaded. It's probably mainstream, but I'd have to say Good Morning Rose.
Good morning, Rosaline. Your hair looks fine, your room is clean. Did last night treat you well? The passerbys, they couldn't tell. So when you get the chance, just let them know you need a hand. This world is just a dream. Good morning, Rosaline. Good morning to the skies. I heard you love her lullabies, and how her smiling face reminds you of a time and place. So when she fine, your room is clean. Did last night treat you well? The passerbys, they couldn't tell. So when you get the chance, just let them know you need a hand. This world is just a dream. Good morning, Rosalie. Good morning, Rosalie. Good morning, Rosalie. Good morning, Rosalie. Good morning, Rosalie.
Celine, I think it's been like one of our biggest hits. Actually, I think it has been our biggest hit overall. And I think it just carries like a lot of the, early 2000s punk pop rock, like catchy melody, fast tempo, like a lot of what is found through most of our music and most of our main genre. So I think that'd probably be my pick. Good morning, Rosaline.
How about you, Mikey? Are you picking the same thing or something else?
That is a good choice.
You can be different.
I know. um, I I feel like I might go with I'm gonna go with Looking Back, but it's close. It's a close tie with a few of them. But Looking Back, I just like it's got a lot of like emotion behind it, and you can hear it in the song. And a lot of our songs are that one specifically is more directed about like a breakup, but a lot of our songs have to do with like mental health or some type of life struggle. And so that song combining like early 2000s indie, like just pop rock in general, I feel like that's kind of a cool song that encompasses a lot of like our sound and our emotion.
Some One Direction in there.
Someone said Mac DeMarco today about that song.
Really?
Yeah, they said
I don't hear that really,
I
but
was like,
maybe.
oh, that's the first time I've ever heard that comparison.
Yeah.
And so, Danny, would you, going with Good Morning, like, would you say that's your favorite song you've released to date, or do you have a different one?
Oh, good follow-up. I would say my favorite to date, and definitely some bias here, but it's probably our most recent one. It's called Love Is. We just released it last week. No, yeah,
July 8th.
July 8th. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a little over
I
a
wonder
week
why.
ago.
I wonder why that's your favorite.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
I wonder
You've done your
why.
research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is your wife standing over your shoulder right now?
And he pointing a gun at you right now. Blink twice if you need help.
She would never. No, but that is obviously the story behind it. That's why that one means a lot to me. And it means a lot too because of how fun it came together too. The guys here like helped really like add some instrumentation to it and rework the melody, and all the pieces came together to just make it like a really fun song that just captured exactly what I wanted it to. And I don't know if you've seen the music video too, but like that part of it too is just like a fun piece of nostalgia and everything for my wife and I, and for the band too, obviously. But just like that one just carries so much personal emotion and excitement for me.
I will say I love the production of that song. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, I mean, like we said, we're from New Hampshire, so when we were like we're gonna do music and record and play music, we're the only ones in our school that were doing that. So we were like, we don't know what we're doing. Like we're trying to learn this as we go. And now that we've been doing it for a bit, we're starting to finally figure out, oh, we have so much we can figure out what to do with this and actually experiment a lot more with our sound and like
Yeah.
and play more with it and like do a lot of the production ourselves rather than just record the instruments and send it to our mixer, like and it's you can start to hear it in like a lot of our stuff.
Totally.
Yeah, you don't need to defend your brother. I get it.
Yeah.
I'll accept his loving answer.
Yeah.
But now for you, Mikey, what do you and please don't say Love Is, but do you have a favorite song that maybe other than Looking Back?
I mean, it's definitely up there. It's really fun to just like jam and play live. I actually get to come up front and play guitar for that one live. So instead of me and Danny will switch and he'll go play drums for that one.
Drums.
Yeah. But Dude, I Know Karate's probably up there. Oh man, I don't know actually. Actually, wait. Instead of Dude, I Know Karate, this might be controversial, but I'm gonna go with Where the World Can't Hurt Me, which is not as well known. I mean, it's definitely
Mikey
up
just
there.
likes to play all by himself and have his solo opportunity.
No, it's
what it sounds like, a little
it's
egotistical.
it's mostly because it's just it's an acoustic song that I wrote about, just like, it was me trying to explain what was going on in my head when I was experiencing like depression and like mental health issues. Like, I was trying to explain it to someone, and this song is how I explained it, basically. Like, this is what it feels like to live with this. Like, and that song just means a lot to me. So I there's more fun songs to play than that one, but the meaning behind it means a lot to me, I think.
All right. All right. Well, Jackson, if you had to pick a song from the catalog of 19 miles per hour, what song of yours would you have shown someone?
Honorable mention to a deep cut, but Smile.
No.
Go to YouTube and scroll really far down.
No, that one's not. We deleted that one.
No. Not that one. I would pick Alligator.
Oh, yeah, good
I'm
one.
not someone, I have a really hard time like figuring out what lyrics to songs are quickly, because I mostly just hear the music of it, and that song is just gets me grooving, gets me like, puts a little boogie in me.
Mm-hmm.
And I love just how it sounds. Really fun song, and I think it kind of encapsulates how much fun our music has to offer.
Yeah.
Ben, how about you?
At the risk of being discovered right now as only knowing 3 19 miles per hour songs, I'm also going to go with Alligator. I just think it's so high energy, and just playing it live, people get really into it. It's one of the better known ones, and it's just so fun.
Yeah,
The key change is my favorite part too.
Oh yeah.
I think, Ben, you need to do some work, man. Let's.
He can play them. He just doesn't know them.
Yeah. He can play all of our songs. Doesn't know any of them, though. Just kidding.
What's the song again?
All right. Now, Danny, is there a band or artist in your life that kind of never lets you down? It's the thing you turn to listen to when you don't know what you want to listen to, so you always kind of gravitate towards one artist or band.
19 miles per hour, obviously. No, I think probably the Foo Fighters for me is a big one. There's obviously songs I like more than others, but I think like they're definitely a band that I like fall back on. They're one that more recently I went to one of their concerts, and like Ben was saying, for the Smashing Pumpkins, for him, like, they are definitely the best concert I've ever been to. It was so solid. But yeah, I think their music just is like, it's melodic, it's deep, and just everything. I don't know, good rock and roll.
Awesome. How about you, Mikey?
I think I'd have to go with Mayday Parade of
Nice.
They, like, since high school, they've probably been one of my like all-time favorites. Seeing some of the songs that their drummer like sings on too was kind of like a cool moment where I was like, oh, I want to be a singing drummer too. Like, that's so cool. But I love their just like, a bunch of their songs are so high energy and so fun, and yet a lot of them still have like really cool meaning behind them, and they're just, I feel like every song by them is just such a good song, honestly.
No, it's a great pull. And if so I'll give you here's a little pull. If you like singing drummers, my favorite singing drummer possibly of all time that is probably not known, there was a band called China Drum out of England in the 90s. They were like power pop punky a little bit, but like, just something. And when you hear it for the first time, and then you find out that that's the drummer playing and singing at the same time, and I've seen him do it live, it's like, it just takes you to another, like, shit.
That is really cool. That's a hard thing to do. It's people don't understand sometimes. You gotta practice that before you can actually do it live.
Yeah. How about you, Jackson? Band or artist that never lets you down, you find yourself listening to all the time?
I find myself turning to two, and
I have two of them. And you're allowed to have two.
Yeah, and both of them make me sound like a damn virgin. Weezer and Radiohead, those are my two. I feel like with Weezer, they're just super fun, and I feel like as I've gotten older, I've related more to the angsty, like, teenager like lyrics of Rivers Cuomo in the first couple albums, and they just become a little bit more nostalgic for me. And with Radiohead, Oh, everything is so good from them. I feel like if you don't like a song of theirs, you just don't get it yet. And you got to work on it some more because everything that comes out of Tom York's head is special.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Radiohead falls into a really crazy category too. And there's a new band out there today doing kind of the same thing that I never thought would be possible, and that's like changing your sound and still keeping your fans and bringing in new fans at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like they were the first ones that I can remember really doing it and doing it drastically, and they never lost their original fans like myself that found them through Pablo Honey. And then when you get into fucking Kid A and it's like completely electronic,
Not the same band.
yeah, they changed so much throughout, and everything changed, and they were not many bands can ever do that, because some bands have tried and they've failed immensely. And like right now there's a band who's on the rise that is really doing that as well, and like kind of keeping to their roots but changing as they go. And like band Turnstile, like they have
Oh yeah. Yeah.
like, and it's weird, like I don't understand it, and I've like said I'm like, I don't know who just says, okay, this is the band that's allowed to do this.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It's so weird to me. But yeah. Now, Ben, who's you got for a band that never let you down that you listen?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned them before. I'm gonna say I've got two, and this way we don't have to reopen the Smashing Pumpkins can of worms. They're definitely those guys for me. But a second band, and this is just so I sound cool and indie, Built to Spill. And I think like I'm a guitar player. That's a lot of the bands I gravitate to are big guitar bands like the Smashing Pumpkins. And Built to Spill has that layered sound, so it's just really special to me.
Yeah,
I gravitate toward
they're
drums.
great.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We're seeing them in a week?
Oh yeah, 1 week from today.
Yeah, week from today we'll be in front of Doug Marsh screaming my head off.
Awesome. They're a great live show too. I've seen them in a room of 100 people and then on stage in front of thousands. So they're fucking amazing.
Yeah, we just saw them a couple weeks ago. They were at a music festival in Salt Lake City in front of a bigger crowd now. This show that we're going to see them at next week is a smaller venue.
Which we performed at, 3-4 months ago?
Yeah.
We opened for another band, the same venue. That's so cool to me.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. All right, so we just went over bands that never let you down. Now I'm going to, through a lot of stuff we've talked to so far, Danny, what do you listen to that people would get just a huge, like, I mean, sometimes it's called a guilty pleasure, but at a certain age, they just all become pleasures. But something people would be really surprised to hear you get tons of enjoyment out of listening to.
Oh, let's see. I was ready for you to say the question was band that always lets you down as the invert. So that's what I was preparing for. No, I think, I don't know. It's probably not that like out there nowadays, but Taylor Swift. I'm a big Swiftie, so that's maybe the guilty pleasure.
All right. Listen, it's a common thread on guilty pleasures here because, I mean, she catches shade because of, Taylor Swift and she's so big, but
we're getting within canceled territory. Be careful where we step.
All right, Mikey.
Oh man. Oh, that is a tough one. Oh man, I don't know. Like, I feel like a lot of the bands I listen to are just kind of like pop punk bands, ones that I mean like aren't as well known maybe, but I don't know if they're guilty. You know what? Guilty pleasure band, I would say our own band, because people find out I listen to them, listen to ourselves a lot, and it's on all of my playlists, and they're like, "Really? You listen to your own band?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I make music we like. Like, why wouldn't we make music I like?" Like, I don't.
So you're number one on your fucking Warped at the end of the fucking year on Spotify.
Hey, well,
stroking your own.
To be fair,
yeah, I mean, you're paying yourself.
Yeah,
trying to rack up them listens.
Hey, I got
1,000 of our 7,000.
Hey, whenever we're playing shows, I'm listening to our set list, so I happen to listen to it a lot. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what I'd have for like a guilty pleasure though. It's probably the guiltiest one.
That's pretty fucking guilty. So
yeah.
Jackson, how about you?
Oh, I would reframe this question as music I'd only play in the car by myself.
Okay.
And that's going to be choir music. I love going back and listening to songs that I sang in choir in high school. I was choir president. I'm not.
Don't tell
I'm
people
not
that.
flexing
Oh,
my arm right now.
Yeah.
Jackson and I met through choir, actually.
That's actually true. That's the only reason we're connected. It's through choir at BYU.
That's just such a humble bunch of guys. Hey, Ben, how about you? What's your guilty pleasure?
Yeah. And this is one that I don't feel like should be a guilty pleasure, but just, society. It's going to be Corey Feldman. I don't know if you're familiar with his post-child acting career.
Am I familiar with it? Did I go see him play in a barn bar here in New Jersey?
I'm joking right now. We've been worshiping Corey for the last 2 weeks.
So I
Corey's
have
my guy.
some videos I can send you.
Yes,
Number one
please.
being the hype video that he plays prior to coming out. Also the moment where the band wasn't playing quite to his liking when he walked on the stage, so he made them start everything over and come back out again.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
That's crazy.
That's my Corey.
Yeah, it sounds like him. From his music, you can tell he'd do that.
And I have to tell you, I've never had so much fun at a show that none of my friends wanted to come to with me until after I sent them the videos. And I said, you guys are, because it was
missed out.
free. It was free, first off. It was a bar on a Sunday afternoon with people who had been there all day already drinking during football games and are hammered, and Corey Feldman fucking comes out. It could have been one of the greatest moments in my life, especially his fucking hype video. Where he just starts throwing out names like once talked to Snoop Dogg, like met so and so at one point. Yeah, like oh my god, collaborated with Michael Jackson. Like this hype video is the fucking greatest hype video of all time, and it goes on for 6.5 minutes.
Oh, I've got himself like a pyramid scheme. Like that's what he sounds like.
And I've never seen someone perform with so much passion and vim and vigor, and it was almost like they were performing as, Pink or Lady Gaga at their best. And what was coming out was the absolute worst. And it was just so great.
There's something
Got your
special
money's
about
worth.
it.
Dude, it's
You
the
cross
best.
the threshold of just terribleness where it becomes angelic.
Oh yeah.
It goes full circle.
It was one of the
bad, it's
coolest
great.
fucking things I've ever seen. I was like, that was the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. And I was like just driving home the entire time with a smile on my face, being like, I may have just been a part of history. Like, it was so great. So great.
Wow, you are a man of culture.
Yeah. All right. So here's we're going to be coming down here in a little bit, so I'm going to bring the stylings of the questions down after some laughs. But Danny, you have 5 minutes left to live. A meteor's hurling into the earth, and you have to listen to one song and one song only. What song are you listening to?
Oof. It's the end of the world. REM.
All right. It's here before. I get it. Mikey, you quick.
Our own bit. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
That's the real answer.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I thought Danny was going to say "Love Is." But,
yeah.
That really was the answer.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go either "Jamie All Over" by Mayday Parade or like "You Be the Anchor" that keeps my feet on the ground by Mayday Parade. One of those ones I think would be the one.
All right, Jackson.
I'm gonna say "Down in a Hole" by Alice in Chains.
That's a good one. First time ever here. Wow.
You die so sad.
Yeah. It's so sad.
Ben.
I'm interpreting this to mean that I've got a matter of seconds to pull out my phone, go to my most recent downloads, and put a song on. So I've been on a real Tool kick lately, and I'm going with Lateralis.
All right.
Wow.
Another good dark one. Yeah. Mine's already there. Since I thought of this question a long time ago, I was like, you know what? Like, it's just here. I never have to pull anything up, and I just go right to this playlist. Boom. There it is.
There you go. What's yours?
Mine is "Over the Rainbow," as done by Ray Charles.
Ooh,
nice.
Not Kermit the Frog.
That is a good.
Yeah.
I should have picked a Led Zeppelin song.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have the notes of Over the Rainbow tattooed on my arm. So if anybody finds me dead somewhere too, they just got to play the notes and be like, "Oh, wow."
That's metal.
Yeah, that's
Metal.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Now, next question. We're staying a little somber, but there's a catastrophic happening at your house, Danny. Your house is burning to the ground. All living things that you love are out safely, and you have time to run back in for one musical thing, whether it be an instrument, a guitar, a computer, a record, a CD, a t-shirt, a poster. One thing. You get to run in and grab one thing. What's the one thing you're grabbing?
Oh man. I don't even know. Probably, I guess my acoustic guitar. I've got an old Seagull acoustic guitar, but it was the first guitar that well, I had an electric before that, but it was really just like a beater, like cheap first guitar. But this was my like I don't know, the first guitar that I feel like I really bonded with more. So that's probably what I'd go for, I guess, the acoustic.
Nice. Mikey.
I would go get my drum set.
All of us would have to go help you
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
That's my one instrument I would grab. I'm just kidding.
You could only grab one piece. Which top
Yeah.
are you
Piece of
taking?
the drum
Yeah.
set?
Yeah, one piece. What?
Yeah.
I'd go bass drum, I guess. Bass
Going
drum.
bass drum over computer with all your demos.
Oh,
Yeah, bye-bye.
that's considered one of the people I love. The computer.
It's on the cloud.
Yeah, it's all on Google Drive.
Jackson.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab my 12-string acoustic, which I am the keyboard player, but that keyboard can burn in hell. I've grown so attached to that guitar, mostly because my 6-string has had a snap string for like 6 months, and I don't want to replace it. So I've gotten pretty dang comfortable with it, and I don't think I could go without it. I think about it often when I'm away from home, and how I long to play it.
Nice. Ben.
Grabbing my Fender Strat.
Nice.
No questions asked. Yeah.
That is it.
Nothing else that I have an affinity towards.
My pick.
Yeah.
Grabbing my pick.
The strap. I'm taking the strap off my guitar.
Taking the tuning peg.
Yeah.
Maybe I should grab my guitar, actually.
Well, we're gonna move into our final segment here in a second. So I mean, who's the guru that, considering that bands are more of a brand, right? If you're doing it correctly, kind of create a brand. So, I mean, who handles all your stuff and would like to take this opportunity to tell everybody how to find out everything that 19 miles per hour is doing, like all your handles, all your stuff, how they can support you and all that kind of stuff. I'd love to give someone an opportunity to tell us all that.
Yeah, I can do that real quick. Yeah, so 19 miles per hour, we're on every platform, Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all that stuff. You just look up at 19 miles _per_hour. But honestly, if you type in 19 miles per hour, it'll come up probably first thing. We picked a good name where it's really the only thing that comes up. But yeah, if you want to see what we're doing and stuff, I mean, you can either go to our website, it's 19milesperhour.com, or I always recommend Instagram. I feel like is probably the best place if you're following us. And you with algorithms and stuff, you always got to interact with bands' posts to actually get their stuff on your feed. So go check it out. But we always post our shows on there. It's always going to be on our website through like if we're playing a show, bands in town will normally have it. Whatever is easiest, it'll be on all of our social media. Any new releases, music videos are all on YouTube. Just look up 19 miles per hour. But yeah, we're any platform. 19 miles per hour is where you'll find us.
Nice. And everybody out there, you have to have this. Your goal for this is to have more listens than Mikey does of his own band on Spotify.
Yeah,
So that's what. Yeah.
Next year, I can't be our number one listener.
Yeah.
That's why I'm always number 2.
0.01%.
Number 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah. No, I wasn't number one this year. There was a few people ahead of me.
Parents don't count.
Yeah.
showing what their children are doing to other people. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
that they probably. That's not a thing, dude. Our parents showing our music. I would say I feel like all of us actually have pretty proud parents of the band. Like it's
My
been.
dad loves the shows.
Yeah,
Thinks
yeah.
like walking on water.
Yeah. For context, Jackson's dad is a drummer and loves to see me drum.
He's not a very good one. That's why he's watching.
But yeah, I would say our parents are like yeah, they're always playing our music for people. Like they'll be checking out at the grocery line. By the way, you should check out my son's band, 19 miles per hour.
You should try to hear 2 80-year-old people like my parents try to explain what it is I do. So
Yeah.
Which I'm like, just don't tell. Like you don't need to tell people anything. Like,
yeah, he's a radio host, but you record the radio sessions and can go listen to them whenever you want.
Yes, on this thing called a smartphone.
Yeah.
It's
open this app. It's an application.
Yeah, I tell them, I'm like,
starts with Steve Jobs.
Yeah, like, stop telling people. Just tell them to come to the record store and music venue that I own, and I'll explain everything.
Yeah.
But
you own that in New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. We're gonna make it out there one of these days.
Yeah, you better.
Yeah.
But so we're going to our final segment. This segment, since we have 4 people on right now, you're each only going to get one band, but it's our weekly 3 segment. It's where you guys first showed up on this show, was our weekly 3 segment that I was listening to you guys. So you're each going to get one band to give me that you'd like people to check out. And then when you're done all with your one, I will give my weekly 3s for this week.
Sweet.
Danny, you want to go first?
Who's first? Me? All right. I don't know if I'll steal this from anyone, but I'm going to say homestyle dinner rolls.
I was thinking that.
They actually, one of the guys lives with Mikey and Jackson that's in this band right now, but they're awesome. They play, rock and roll and just good music.
Nice. All right, Mikey, you can use somebody else different now. So
I'm going to say Hollow Hill. Similar style kind of to us in Homestyle Dinner Rolls, a little bit more maybe emo punk, I guess, but they're super talented. I actually got to play drums with them for a bit, and yeah, their music's super good. They're still growing, so they're underrated.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jackson.
Shout out Sabrina Carpenter, kind of underground, but besides her, I'd probably say good friends of mine, No Such Animal, another local Provo band. I have a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
They're great guys, make great music.
Yeah, really good. I think I reached out to them at one point. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're sweet.
Ben?
Yes. I'm gonna go with Youth Lagoon. And this is a fella I saw. I was exposed to him for the first time at Kilby Block Party in Salt Lake City, the festival. And just really good, psychedelic. I don't know if I'd say psychedelic actually, but just really well textured and atmospheric. Really beautiful.
Was that Pubic Mound guy?
What?
The dude like humping his chair?
No.
What?
Sorry, different.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Nice. Now we're canceled.
Yeah, I mean, okay, let's not stop there real quick. Because now I need to know more. Like, do we know that band name or artist?
Yeah, it's Perfume Genius.
Perfume Genius. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, he was getting intimate with this chair. Like half the concert, I couldn't look away. It was like an awful car accident, like an ugly baby. You just can't stop staring at it.
Tori Amos used to do that all the time in her performances.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When's she going on tour next?
Send link.
Yeah.
Or buy tickets.
Yeah. Just go to YouTube and look at some of her videos from the 90s, and it's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Daughter of a preacher makes total sense.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, my 3 for this week. The first one is a band called Ben Stellar. Not like
They were
Ben.
also at Kilby.
Yeah.
They were good too.
BenStellar. Ben Stellar. They're indie rock from New York City. Really good.
Sweet.
Next band is called New Design. The name of the album is Keepsake. Recently came out. They're kind of emo-ish from Canada. Really Just
I
really
think I've
good.
actually heard some of their stuff.
Yeah, very atmospheric with some I don't like some emo tones to it. Really good. Check it out. And last but not least is a band called Bean Magazine. They just dropped an EP called Folly, Australian pop rock. I don't know what's fucking going on in Australia, but even though it is bigger than fucking all of North America and part of South, but their music scene for how many people don't live there is so fucking vibrant right now. It's so
They have
amazing.
such a good music scene.
Yeah. But those are my 3 for this week.
Sweet.
Before we get out of here, I just want to give a huge, heartfelt thank you to everyone that's been here. Danny, Mike, Ben, Jackson. The music that comes out in people doesn't always see the light of day. It doesn't always get as big of a following as it should have. One of the reasons why you're here is because I believe it deserves more. And I want to, huge thank you for creating it. And otherwise, we never would have talked. We never would have met. So it's really important what you guys do. I want to keep going. And just a huge thank you for creating everything you already have for me.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks so much for having us. I was hyped when you reached out, and when I saw that we were featured on your like the new 3 like bands. That was so cool.
Yeah, man, appreciate it for sure.
Well, you deserve it, and stick around for a bit. But everybody else out there in the world, you know what time it is now. It's time to go out, listen to 19 miles per hour, and have a great fucking time.
Summer of 21, I was a kid just playing shows for classic fun. You were a girl in the crowd who never thought that I could be the one. Months go by and I stumble my way into your life. Looking back, I find that page just waited patiently on time. Took you on our first date, it was late after we left that hockey game. Sat at the old drive-thru, talked the whole night through. Now I thank God every day. Never thought I'd understand. Sometimes love's just holding hands. Love is the end, love is the start. Love is together when we're falling apart. Love is me and love is you. Whenever you smile, I smile too. Wherever we go, there love will be. Because love is you and me. Remember the clear blue skies by the waterfall where I told you I loved you. I saw the spark in your eyes when you smiled back, and I laughed and said,
Thank you.
Remember of 22, last like a photograph inside my memory. I picture the waterfall surrounded by snowy walls as I drop down to one knee. Never thought I'd understand. Sometimes love's just holding hands. Love is the end, love is the start. Love holds us together when we're falling apart. Love is me and love is you. Whenever you smile, I smile too. Wherever we go, there love will be. Because love is you and me. Every concert in the front row, every kiss and every love note becomes reality. A song that's greater than its part, a song that beats within our heart. The love is you and me. Summer of 23, mine as we stand beside the lake. Went from that old drive-through to a life with you. Now I thank God every day. Now it ain't hard to understand. Love is holding on to your hand. Love is the end. Love is the start. Love is living in your heart. Love is me and love is you. You make me smile with everything you do. Wherever we go, there love will be. Because love is you and me.
Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HiddenTracks99. Also, send all your submissions myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band, and don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.